Hi everyone, it's Lottie from Cozy Paper Trails, and this is going to be the first video of my WIP Takedown series. And basically I'm focusing on all of my long-term WIPs that I've had as WIPs for longer than 3 or 4 months. I've got a list of them and I'm going to be picking one each month and tackling one a month to finish that WIP. And for this month, because I had quite a lot going on this month, I've had a lot of other colouring plans. I didn't want anything to be like too much work. So I actually picked 2 pages and they're from the Romantic Country. Oh, and also I did upload a video of all of my long-term WIPs. I will link that video in the description below and put it on the cards on this video as well, so that you can check that out before watching this video if you want to, or after, it doesn't really matter. Just so you can see all of my long-term WIPs and you can let me know which one you would like to see me work on the most. Why has the camera gone unfocused? Anyway, I have picked 2 pages from this book because they are basically almost finished. I just need to do a little bit on both of the pages. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the first page is this one here of all the cakes, and all I've got is this little one here left to do. So I'm going to look up whatever that food is and colour it the correct colours. And I used Faber Castell polychromos for this page, and I'm not a huge fan of how the polychromos work on this paper, so I'm not really looking forward to using them on it that much, but you can see how grainy this looks here. So I might try using a blender pencil on this, but I don't want to ruin it, but I might just see if that makes any difference to kind of get rid of some of the grain. But that is what they're looking like so far. I really like this one. I feel like that one turned out nicely. So yeah, I'm just going to finish that one, and then the other page is this page here, which is basically done. I just need to add something here, and I'm thinking of doing like a cobblestone kind of path. And again, I used polychromos, I believe, for this, so I've got my polychromos here with me today in this pencil case where I keep them, and I'm just gonna finish both of these pages for you. So first of all, I think I'm going to start with this one, but before I get going, I've got a couple of pencils that are loose in this pencil case just because I'm using them for one of my other pages and I don't want to lose that colour combination. But anyway, I've got this blender pencil here by the brand Color, and this is one, I was recommended this by Chol from Chol Colours. I'd never used a blender pencil before in my life and she was shocked that I hadn't, so I'm going to try it on this and just see if I can get it to look a bit less grainy, just because it's annoying me. If not, I will leave it, but that is definitely making some kind of difference. So I might go over certain parts of this page using this blender pencil and see if I can get it looking a little bit better. But that definitely looks better so far. You can see how much darker and saturated the colour is. So no wonder if you recommended these blenders to me, because I literally am using them in all of my colouring pages at the moment, like all of my coloured pencil pages. Because look at the difference. It just makes things so much more vibrant. I mean, I don't want to ruin everything that I've done on this page. I'm sort of just making a few improvements. But that does look way better. So I think I might go over this, definitely. Maybe some of the strawberries here, they're looking quite grainy. This here is quite grainy. I'm not going to go over everything, but just certain elements that I think could do with looking a bit less grainy. But because of this blender pencil, I feel like I could potentially use polychromos on this paper now, because I can use this as a tool to help me blend, although I'm just going to end up going through these pencils like toilet paper. So that's fine. They weren't too expensive, and I've got a few more of them because they came in a pack of like 5 or something. So I have got a few of these pencils, but look how much better that looks. That looks so much nicer. So So I'm going to go over all of these bits, I think. I think I'll probably do all this bit off camera because I'm just going to do a few more bits of blending on this page. I don't really need to film every little bit. And then I will come back and I'm going to decide on some colours for this, but I don't know what colour that is. I would assume it's something almond related because of the name, and these kind of look like flaked almonds on the top, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I will come back to you when I've done all of the blending with the blender pencil that I want to. Once I'm a bit happier with how everything's looking, I'll come in and finish this last one. Okay, so I've done a few bits. You can see this is a lot brighter. I didn't go over everything. I went over the little bit of this, all of the red bits, the strawberries, the blueberries, the crust of this, and these two, and then the brown of this. So I didn't go over absolutely everything with the blender pencil, but it's now a lot shorter because I couldn't sharpen it. It wouldn't sharpen, it kept breaking. I tried about 4 sharpeners and it just kept breaking, which is annoying because now it's like half the length that it was. But anyway, I do prefer how it is looking now. So I'm going to Google what this looks like. Yeah, so there we go. I think it's this, like a little almond kind of tart. So I'm going to do like the crust on the outside, and then it goes a little bit darker as it goes into the tart. So the crust is a bit lighter than the actual bit here, and then the almonds on top. So that's what I'm going to aim for. Right, so what colours am I going to use? I've got to try and make sure I keep these colours out because these are the ones I'm using for another page. So I've got to make sure I keep those kind of separate. Okay, so for the outside crust, let me zoom in. I'm going to use a bit of cream as a base. I can't remember what colours I used for all these other pages. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to just guess. But I'm just going to use a really, really light covering of cream to start with. And I can use the blender pencil on top to blend any colours out that I use. So yeah, I feel like I'm just going to be using this blender pencil for every single page now. And then I'm going to go for brown ochre. I'm going to sharpen this up. I didn't risk using my mechanical sharpener because I think it's having a bad day. Yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of this, and then I'm going to have to pick a mid-tone, I think, to blend the cream and this together. Because that's not going to blend properly. I could use this light yellow ochre. I could use this to blend the two together. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that makes quite a good crust colour. Okay, that's the crust. I'm just going to use the blender pencil just to blend it a little bit better. And then I'll move on to the centre of the tart. I'm going to have to pick a slightly darker colour. And I'm definitely not doing a background in this page because I cannot be bothered. This type of page, I would just never decide to do a background on. Because it's kind of one of those little like small victories pages. I definitely, yeah, just doing a background unless I just did a splash of watercolour like that, but I'm not going to for this page. I'm really not in the mood to be doing that. And then the centre of this tart needs to be a bit darker. I think I'm going to go over the whole thing with light yellow ochre at first. I think what I struggle with the polychromos on this paper is like, well, one, layering is quite difficult on this paper because it's quite smooth, and then also the saturation of the colours, like they never look saturated enough. But then because I've got the blender pencil, that may help me out here. Because that blender pencil does sort of brighten the colours as well. I don't know how it does that, because obviously I get that it puts the pencil, like the colour, into the tooth of the paper so you don't have the grain, but it also just really just makes the colours pop. And I don't know how. But anyway, I'm just scribbling with this. I'm not doing a very neat job because I'm going to go over with some more colours. So I want to like really deepen this middle bit up. Might add slight orange tones into this middle bit as well, like a burnt ochre kind of colour. Okay, that's the base, and then I'll go in with the browny colour I was using before, brown ochre, and I'm going to go kind of around these almonds. And I want the almonds to definitely be the lightest part, so I won't use any brown. I'm not sure, maybe some ivory, I don't know yet. Just winging it really. Just be glad to have this page complete. So it's actually like, it was basically complete anyway. It just had this one bit which I don't know why I never finished. It's just been sat there for like 8 years. 8 or 9 years just not being finished, which is pointless. I'm going to add some dark around the edge as well, I think, like this, otherwise it blends in with the crust a little bit too much. And again, blender pencil time. See if this can look a bit smoother, and then I'm going to go over the top with a darker brown and just sort of go around some of the almonds to make them look like pop off, make them like stand out, if you know what I mean, make them pop off the tart. Almost. It just makes so much difference. If you've never used a blender pencil, what are you doing? What was I doing all this time? Honestly, it makes colouring a lot quicker as well, because you don't have to layer it up so much or burnish it so much. Now I'm going to go in with this dark brown again. As I said, I'm just going to kind of go around the edges of some of these almonds like this. So this is what I'm now struggling with on this paper. It's not really letting me put any more layers down, which is why I find it quite hard to get depth in this book. Just, you can't, I don't know, it's just not as easy as it should be. Like, polychromos are layering pencils, but you can't layer them on this paper. And this is the English edition of Romantic Country. I've had this book for years. Yeah, I must have got this book when the third tale came out, because I remember I got the first, second and third tale all at once, and I think I got them when the third tale came out. I could be wrong, but I know the third one is really difficult to get hold of now. I'm glad I got it. Okay, that's going to be it for the base of that tart. I can't be bothered to do too much more to it. I just want it done, really. So now for the almond itself, I'm going to use some ivory. Maybe ivory, a bit of cream, and a bit of this, maybe dark Naples ochre. Let's have a little look, see how this will turn out. So I'm going to just do ivory over kind of 1/2, and then a little smidge of cream. But I want them to be quite pale, because flaked almonds are really pale, aren't they? They haven't got much colour to them. And then just a little bit of this, like that, just to give it that hint of colour. Yeah, maybe kind of like that. I think I'm going to do this for each one, and then we'll be done. I might get rid of this smudge here. They've got a little smudge on the page. I might get my electronic eraser and just see if I can get rid of that. It's just been bugging me this whole time I've been colouring on this page. Okay, there we have the finished piece, the finished tart, and there's a smudge here which is really bugging me, so I'm just going to use this. This is the Derwent electric eraser. just got rid of most of that mark there, so the page just looks a little bit cleaner. There's a little mark up here, just going to get rid of that. So good. And oh, there's a few marks over this side. Let's zoom out. There we go. Perfect. First long-term WIP complete. And I'm happy with that. It's obviously not the most exciting page in the world. I do quite like colouring food though. But I'm glad that one is done. And then I have got this one. I've just figured out why this had smudged. Because I thought that it had just smudged onto this page because it's been sitting there. But it must have been because I did this page but without a piece of backing paper. So I'm going to get myself some paper to put underneath. So I've just got a sheet of printer paper and I'm just going to stick this underneath like this so that there's no chance of me smudging anymore onto that page, which I'm going to have to clean up at some point if I ever want to colour in that page. But basically I'm thinking of just doing a basic cobblestone kind of path just to finish this off because it just looks a bit unfinished without any path. This is quite grainy, like the sky is quite grainy, but I can't really be bothered to go back and correct all that, so I think I'm just going to work on this bit and then be done with the page, I think. So I'm going to look up on Pinterest a cobblestone path. Okay, so I've just looked up cobblestone path. They're all coming up quite detailed. I want kind of like from a different angle. Not quite sure. So I could do it like, oops. Could do it like that. Random brick looking path. But then, will that look a bit much? Or do I do it like this with some grass in between? No, maybe not the grass. Let me type in cobblestone path colouring. Just see what comes up. Oh, it's going to come out of acrylic marker stuff, isn't it? And alcohol marker. Cobblestone path coloured pencil. I don't know. Unless I do something kind of like this, but not watercolour. That colour, would that colour go? Or should I do it like a more of a grey brown? Just thinking more like these colours, like a grey kind of colour. But obviously that would look a bit silly because that's alcohol markers. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw out with some pencil. Where's my thin pencil? Okay, I've got this pencil here, which is a Faber Castell mechanical pencil, and it's got a really, really fine nib, so it's kind of perfect for colouring pages. I'll zoom in. I'm just going to draw some cobblestones and just hope for the best. I'm just going to do them like, this is going to take me ages though. This will take forever. But if I use a blender pencil, maybe it won't take as long, I don't know. What am I putting myself in for? I could have just literally just coloured it a brown path. That would have been way, way easier. I'm not even meaning for them to be wobbly, I'm just drawing them however I feel like. And hopefully it will turn out okay. Quite wobbly. It might work. Need to press a little bit lighter actually, because I don't want it to show through. That's a bit dark. And then, yeah, I'm going to go for like a grey, more greyish look rather than brown, just because I don't want it to clash with the browns that's already on this page. Could have done like huge cobblestones, couldn't I, instead of tiny little ones. Okay, that's my cobblestones. I'm going with some greys. I'm going to go in with, do I go with cool greys or warm greys? I'm thinking cool. Or I could do some greys and some brown. Don't know if that'd be a bit much though. This is probably going to be quite a short video, though these videos will be probably longer in the future. It's just this month I just didn't want to do anything crazy. because I've got quite a few buddy colours, and I've actually completed barely anything this month. I'm filming this, what day is it today? The 8th? It's the 8th of July today. I've completed a few Disney Colour by Number pages, but I always do. I find them a lot more easy to complete and easier to get motivated to finish. Whereas actual like other pages, I find it really hard. I haven't completed a single other page other than the page in this one, which didn't take long at all, so like 5 minutes. But I've started my page in Boule de Poire, that's nearly done. I just need to add some further details to that for it to be finished. That I used watercolours for that, so that was quite a quick page to do. I've completed, well, not completed anything else, but I've started a Leon's Journey page, which is got quite a lot of elements on the page. It's taken me quite a long time. I'm just sort of working on it here and there, and that's a buddy colour. I haven't started any others, but I've got buddy colour also in Cosmic Spirit Mythographic book, which I need to start really, really soon. I just don't know. I'm forgetting exactly. I had like a colour scheme for that page in mind, and now I'm forgetting it. So I can't actually remember what page that was, which is frustrating. What page? I can't actually remember what colours I was going to do that page now. I had like a really good colour scheme in my mind. I had it all figured out, and I forgot. I think I was going to use like really dark blues and oranges, but I can't remember. So I might have to rethink that. Rethink my colour scheme and see what I can come up with. But I need to start that soon. I've also got a buddy colour in A Million Sea Creatures by Lulu Mayo. But I'm just really slow this month. I'm more focused on my Disney Colour by Numbers. I think it's just where I recently started using acrylic markers, and I recently got some new acrylic markers and stuff. I think I've just been wanting to use those and try them out. So in the evenings, I usually have like a couple of hours, like 2-3 hours max every evening to colour. That's sort of my colouring time. I've been kind of doing an hour of colouring, like pencil colouring or like that type of thing. And then the rest of the evening I've been doing my Disney Colour by Numbers, so I've not been doing much coloured pencil work at all. And I need to do more, because I've got so many pages I'd love to do. And if I'm working this slow, I'm not going to get any of them done, ever. So, you know, I need to focus more on that, but then at the same time I love my Disney Colour by Number pages, so it's really hard. So that's sort of why I've been in the evening doing like a bit of both, just so then it changes it up a bit. If I do coloured pencil colouring for too long, I can get quite burnt out. I can only do like an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then I have to have a break, because I feel myself start to rush at that point. And that's not good. For these cobblestones, because I'm doing this colour, I might then... This is Cold Grey, is VI 5 or is it 6? I don't know. And then go in with Cold Grey 3 to add some more shading to these, like this, leaving like a bit of pale in the middle. And then I might go in with, I'll see what they look like actually, because if I feel like it maybe doesn't need blending pencil, that might be okay. So I'm going to do the rest of this little bit off camera, and then I'll come back to you when I've done the stones part. I'm going to figure out what colour to do in between the stones, whether I do a brown there or something, I'm not sure, but I'll come back in a bit when I'm done. Right, that is that bit done, and I think between the cobblestones, this video is going to be very, very short, because I feel like this bit's going to be quite quick as well. Between the cobblestones, I might just do a flat colouring of Warm Grey 2. My wrist is actually starting to hurt from colouring all those cobblestones. But I might just flat colour the in between like that. Don't know if you can see a little bit there, just to give it some colour, but without doing too much, because I kind of think it needs too much. Like, this page isn't super realistic, and you know, I just feel like it doesn't need a ton of shading on the bit behind the cobblestones. I think, like, I've done a bit of shading on the stones. I think that's probably fine, but I'm going to add that in anyway. And this page, I believe I did actually copy someone else's page off Pinterest when I did it years ago. So I didn't come up with these colour combinations or anything by myself. This was copied from an image off Pinterest. So just so that you are aware that I didn't choose these colours. I didn't, you know, I can't get credit for that because I did copy it. Which is something I used to do a lot. If you've watched my full book collection video, I have a lot of pages where I tell you, like, that I have copied off someone off Pinterest, because I used to do it all the time because I would struggle to come up with my own colours. But I've really been pushing myself recently to come up with everything myself, and I have used Palette Kit a little bit to help me kind of choose some colour combinations with my pencils, which has been a massive help. But generally I will just try and do a page completely myself, because I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to gain the skills of colour picking and making my pages my own. I'm not going to gain those skills by copying for the rest of my life. But I must say I have learned a lot from copying other people's work off Pinterest and stuff, and following a few colour alongs back in the day. I've found those helpful, and have helped me, like, learn certain techniques, learn what I like, what I don't like, and that sort of thing. So there's definitely no shame in copying anyone else's work, as long as you obviously don't claim it to be your own. Like, just don't claim that you made those colour combinations up yourself and everything. My camera's about to die. I have to change the battery quickly. My camera battery basically just died on me then, but I'm back. And I'm nearly done. So this video is probably only going to be like 10 minutes long or something. I don't think I filmed that much, but it's fine. It is still a video, and it's showing you what I did this month to do with my long-term WIPs. In the future, videos should be longer because most of my other long-term WIPs haven't got much done to the page. Like, they've still got a lot to do. So some of the pages I've even just, like, coloured a teeny little element, and the rest is still blank. So those will take a lot longer. So I'll be filming a lot more content to do with those, and they're not always going to be like chatty videos, like, oh, I don't even know. And the videos aren't always going to be in this format as well, unless you like me just colouring along and you can listen to me chat about what I'm doing, then I will continue to do that. Please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I've just done that page. I keep saying but yeah, I need to stop saying that in all my videos. I realise I say but yeah all the time, and I need to stop. Let's zoom out. And that is the finished page. So I think it just looks a bit more complete with that floor in there. It looks a bit crazy, but it's fine. It's complete now. At least I can say the whole page is done, and that's what the cobblestones are looking like. I'm not going to use a blender pencil. I can't really be bothered. I think it looks fine as it is. It kind of matches the rest of the page because the rest of the page is a bit grainy, and you know, I've not blended it too well, so I think that looks fine. So those are the two pages that I have completed, two of my long-term WIPs in this book. I am so happy that they are done now. I've got another one in this book. I've got two more in this book. I think I've got this one, which I love this page. I feel like that would be a fun one to complete. And then there's also, or is that it? That might actually be it in this book. But as I said, oh no, there is also this one as well. Shouldn't take me too long because I used watercolours for it. But as I said, I will link that video where I go through all my long-term WIPs in the description below so that you can see what ones are left. I think for the next one, like next month, what I might do, I might come up with like a randomizer type thing and randomly pick a picture. Unless I get loads of people saying they want me to do a particular page, I think I will probably just do like a randomizer wheel and pick one during my like August plans video for next month. I think that would probably be quite fun. And then it would be a complete challenge of whatever page I get. I don't get to pick it myself. It will be random, which I think will be fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will create a playlist for all of the videos that are going to be as part of this series so that you'll be able to go back and see any of the others. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye for now, guys.